Hi everyone, Namaste from India to everyone around the world watching this live presentation of Do You Know segment. Yeah, I'm Varun Choudhry. I'm working in this industry for the last 7.5 years. And I've been part of most of the department roles like modeling, texturing, but core value of my attention goes towards modeling department. Uh, I live here in India with my parents. I live in Mumbai and with my parents. And but so this was just summary. I'll later on tell about more about my stuff. Uh, and yeah, no, I think we should go ahead and uh, we can tell about more about myself. So, yeah, I was born in 1995 in Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh, and then I moved. My father's job at that time required to come in Mumbai. Although my dad had came to Mumbai in 1998, and then 2 years later, me and the family we entirely shifted to Mumbai. So right now we are currently living in Mumbai for the last 25 years. Uh, India, I would say that those who didn't visited India, I think you should, guys. The culture, the tradition, you're going to love it. The most diverse economy, the most diverse culture you would find in anywhere in the world, and that would be India. So I root for you guys that you should, if ever you got time, you should visit India. Now there are many great places over here, yeah, if you want to come for a do it, you can come to Goa, you can have a look at, you can come to South India like Kerala, Karnataka. So these are the much lovely places where you would find the diverse culture in India. Uh, Anyways, so going back about me. So as a child, I've always had it just enjoyed painting and drawing and everything. Yes, I love handcrafting as well. I'm a fan of WWE. I like Formula One racing. While I'm working, sometimes I watch F1 races on the go. I'm very much voting for Cadillac and Audi team, which has just this year has entered into the Formula One. So I'm voting for those guys. And yeah, so I go as goes with the handicraft and all. So I always had a you know very much craze to build something out of anything, like as you said, way out of waste kind of. So now it was never taught to me. I was always curious that what can be created from this thing, what can be created from this thing, and that led up to this day that I'm working as a modeling artist and still figuring out uh, that if whatever challenge may come up and still living my dream at a highest level. Um, uh, the main reason is not just that I had an interest with I would say this modeling, but the main interest to come up in this field is because I always also have a background of storytelling. I love storytelling. Uh, I think like books and it's a storytelling from books. Sometimes I just don't find it very curious, but I love storytelling though. As the most of the thing I like is with the films that narrate the best way storytelling. So I'm a fan of that. Uh, in my me time, I will also play outdoor games like badminton, like cricket, and sometimes, although I'm not very much good in video games, I'm not that kind of a person who like games. But yeah, I do love video games to play in my me time. And Yeah, okay, traveling, photography, these are my kind of hobbies and all. So now, yeah, this was about me. Just to cross check, am I audible there? Am I clearly audible to everyone? Just let me quickly check.
Yes,
Yes, your audio is great. Okay, so uh, back to this. Okay, so before I would go ahead with the presentation and today's topic, which uh, uh, everyone here gathered, is to understand how the VFX industry works, how the animation industry works, how the most the on ABGC, which we say, and how that industry works. What are the depths of understanding the 3D? What more can be achieved in that aspect in a career way? What are the great uh, way to navigate ourselves in our career into 3D or animation, gaming, filmmaking, anything? So we are gathered over here. We also going to talk about AI now and that how well it is integrated to our industry and how you can also blend your skill, your artistry in that flow. We're going to talk about that as well. I have a Q&A in, session as well. It could 15 minutes of the end of this seminar. So if 15, 20 minutes, I'll try to wrap up as soon as possible just to answer your queries. So if you have any queries, please those down in the videos and quickly we'll look at the end of the presentation. Okay. So, as I was saying, I have been working in this industry for the last 7.5 years, and I worked on multiple projects, including VFX, games, and recently, I am trying to develop. I'm not develop. I would say I'm trying to explore more into the Indian cinema. So these days, I'm working more closely with the Indian projects, which I did had. So my early project was Fast and Furious Night. That's in 2019. Yeah, in 2019, I got my first exposure to work on a feature length movie. And Fast and Furious Night was my first project. With teenage, I joined teenage as at that time as a junior modeling artist. So not very huge assets were I was responsible to create. But later on, I got my exposure to Hollywood films. And these are the films, as you can see on your screen. These are in those order, except I jumped one project to other. So, two, level two, right? So, in this way, I got the exposure to all those Hollywood films and learned so many things that I never imagined in my life that this thing can be achieved in this way. Or this thing can be achieved in this way. So my perspective has broadened at that time, and I'm very lucky to my mentors, to my teachers who pushed me to explore this field in a much bigger way. And uh, initially, since I was a student, and I know this is out of topic, but most of the students feel at very their life shifts from student to uh, uh, working in the full-time studio as a full-time employment. Uh, Working straight 8 hours is not a habitual thing that they goes with. So at some point earlier in my stages, I was feeling that I think I should work as a freelancer. This 8 hour city one seat and currently staring at the screen. I think I'm not going to make it, but thank, thank you to my mentors, thank you to my teachers. I reached out to them and they guided me that stay on this path and one day I will. get to know that being consistent is the biggest key to move ahead in your career. If you're not consistent in your art, if you're not consistent in your skill, and you're just finding a comfort zone in every kind of thing, you're not going to succeed at it. I mean, you will, but that won't be lasting long. So, with that saying, I get stayed in my career, and one by one, I worked on projects, different projects. Then I wanted to explore some TV project, and that's where I joined technical games, and I got an opportunity to work on Grand Theft Auto Trilogy project. That was because I always have curiosity that I just don't want to stuck as a VFX artist. I want to become a better artist. I don't want to become. I want to become jack of all trades. So that's where I try to experiment my knowledge, experiment with my skills, that how far I can reach, how far I can stretch those skills and reach different sectors of the TBTC. So that's where I explored the gaming pipeline, which is totally different in comparison to VFX pipeline. Uh, and then later on, I I decided that yes, now I had given my time to understand the GD pipeline. Now I got the knowledge of it. But as you realize, you get a sense that what is good for you, what is not good for you. Where you specialize the most in a good way and be a part of a team, just be productive as well. So that it would be a win-win for everyone. So I then realized after working on uh, GTA, I realized that I think I am much better as a VFX artist instead of a clip artist. Um, so that's when I again shifted my focus to VFX and all. So over in every project with our work that I'm majorly core or value of my attention was towards bonding itself, whether it is gaming, whether it is animation, whether it is VFX. My entire course, I would say, core skill set goes towards the TV or the body department. So that's where I shine as the host, and that's where I specialize as a modeling artist. Uh, so, uh, yeah, this is about my career. I worked the Play Store, I worked with technical games, I worked with Teenage. I started my career in 2017 as a junior modeling artist, working on some small, you see, rank animation TV series and all. And then later on, the I got exposure of working with the technical games, these big things like these. I've also I have a passion to teach as well. That's one of the greatest passion that apart from being an artist, uh, I want to become a teacher. So that's one of my passion. So during pandemic, I thought yes, that this is the great time to explore this area as well. So I explored and from Mac Institute, which that some of you might not know. So, Mac Institute is one of the leading institute in animation, gaming, and VFX in India. At my graduation stages, reading and animation was not really a part of my syllabus program. But since I never wanted my 3D model just to stand like this in a depot. I wanted them to do some animations, some action. So I thought that let's learn rigging and animation as well. So that's when I joined that SU, learn rigging and animation. And later on, when it comes to professional life, I at one point I worked as their production faculty there as well, where I taught in an upcoming upcoming artist. who are not students working, some are working up at the which now now ASIFA Studios, some are working with the technical games. So some of my students are working there on their take now. And yeah, so I worked over there as a production faculty. I taught the ZBrush, 3ds Max, Photoshop, After Effects, and number of softwares I taught over there. Now, since I have a knowledge of to teach and to work now over those softwares. So no, I won't say softwares. I will say them as tools because uh, those are the only things that you know from which our skills get evolved. Anyways, circling back to present, I'm working in Latin like VFX Studios as a modeling artist, and responsible over here to not only serve to deliver assets on time, but I'm also over here to help my junior mentor, my junior teammates, my interns, responsible for them. No, if they are journalists, if they are under, as a junior modeling artist, I'm leading them and making sure that the delivery goes on time, their craftsmanship doesn't harm and in their in their free time, they try to more, develop their skills in a much greater way. So yeah, this is my role as of now as a modeling artist in Latin Studio. Uh, so yeah, I think this was all about me, and this was about my career. And let's go ahead. So one of the things as part of this, I would start off with the VFX, which is the me think to get to understand to you guys that what kind of what kind of sectors are divided in under AEC. So VFX is one of those sectors which under which films, short films, these comes under visual effects. Visual effects means the things which you uh, just can imagine through your mind, but can't portray it in real life. In real life, so where in that way, visual effects come in, where our imagination, our concepts get involved in theory, and and that's how we narrate our story, you know, through using those imageries. So a typical VFX production pipeline is kind of lengthy. I know. This is a very boring chart, which you can see on your screen right now. But I've got simpler one, which I'll show you later. But yes, this is necessary if you want to really understand that how UX production pipeline. This is the best way to understand. So there are three stages. Yeah, in VFX production pipeline. It starts all the way from pre-production, then goes to production, then goes with post-production, and then it goes with the final processing, where final staging comes up to the party. In the post, in the pre, so I'll quickly just run to you guys. I'll not, I'll not pick up each and every department just to make sure you understand the just to summarize you up. Uh, Pre-production stage is where the art, where the story, where the scripts now are being written, are being finalized. That what's the director's vision? What's the director's way of making public people understand that what the story is going to go evolve till the end. So that's the entire pre-production stage happens over there. In the production stage, those things coming to a little bit on a first gear, um, uh, like data capture, motion capture, virtual production. These are the some of the areas where VFX supervisors, the CG supervisors comes into role where they understand that yes, this shot needs to be done in this way. This shot needs to be done in this way. Oh yeah, this shot requires the siege to be done. For this shot, I think it's okay. I think it's fantastic. The no VFX need to be done over the shot, just a color correction, and boom, it's done. So these are calls which are made. These are made in the production stages. Like most of the time, you have heard that Avengers Doomsday is now in production. This is now in production. This game is now in production. This week, that stage, the story, the art, the concept are all being finalized, and now the in the layman terms, the shooting has been begun. So that's the production stage. After that, many companies consider road that bids for that particular project. And for example, if I talk about Avengers Endgame, which over here, I think most of the people among I think 90 to 97% are joined, and 97% have seen those attacks. So now, if I talk about Avengers Endgame, Enec, Quetta, the digital, the NBC, and ILM, Easter Domain, most of the big names which we hear, they bid for that movie, and then they all Freestone was also part of that film. So they bid on that film. They worked and later as a post-production part. Now all those data, then shoot scans, video scans, I do separate with those companies, and then they accordingly in their own department as a VFX production partner, they channelize each and every shot that which shot has to go in which department, and accordingly they uh, finalize the visual effects of that particular shot of that particular movie. So now, so this was out. So it all starts with yeah, camera match move, and then the things goes with modeling, and then modeling, texturing, rigging, animation, lighting, rendering. All these things comes into play, so, which you can see over here, and that's the future. So, and then after going all the things are done at the final compositing stage, compositing is where all the things get finalized. All the things, the visual effects top gets into an actual narration of that particular shot, comes into role. So, at the final compositing stage, there when the shots are being finalized, and they go to DI, which is we say at digital intermediate. According to E, they sometimes T the mood and the color, and that's how the things are get finalized on the final processing stage, and then it goes to the final screening. Where most of the time, the at an initial level, the production house of that particular movie now decides to showcase some of the shots of the movies as a final screening to the initial public, just to 30 to 40 people in an empty or theater, just to get a feedback that how the movie is going to be. And they circulate free tickets, and get the feedback from the people. So that's how VFX production pipeline is how it works. Now, as I said, now this was the boring part. Let's make you understand in a very simple part. So this is how I do things. So like more simpler way I can make you understand. So this is the way that how the things are get ready at the initial stage to the end stage. They build a concept, they pre-visualize it. Pre-visualization, I can talk about it all day, but just to summarize it, pre-visualization means where the things get initialized just to get an idea that how come things are going to look from a digital camera. Now, is this the shot? If the shot moves this way and the camera and moves it this way, how would it be? Would it be? Would it justify the narration of that particular shot? Would it justify the script, the story? So according to that pre-visualization, takes a place. which is very important at visualization. Some companies just don't, they don't work on the visual effects, they just work on pre-visualization. Some companies out there are like those work as well. So now where the things get find just to make the artist make every other people that's going to come I really look this VFX correction Python pre-visualization helps them to understand that yes, this shot is going to get narrated this way, the camera is going to go to move in this way, and this is how interaction of a character, antagonist or protagonist comes into role in that way. So that's how pre-visualization comes in, and then the final camera matching vocab, whether it is require or not vocab, is the is the motion capture. Uh, then it goes actually starts from measurement layout, where the things the most if you don't know, I just quickly summarize to you. If you shot a video and you move the camera, for example, um, architect, still in the street where you must have time I've seen that if you want to they're going to create a new building in a place and they just want to advertise market it and they want to showcase that how the building floors are going to look like. So most of the time you have seen that the cameras they don't they go that camera goes into you know, remote and 360 and rotates 360 degree to go over. So that's so for example, if that kind of video happens and that kind of shot you have where your camera goes at different areas of and some area where you have an empty wall, you want to start a painting. Now in actual shot, there's no painting. There's just an empty clean wall and now they want of uh, a painting to be hung on that particular wall. So that's where Machu and layout comes in, where they upon it track the camera movement. And once that tracking data comes to the 3D modeling department, we model out the entire frame of that particular painting. We in a uh, in an empty space uh, you know, the according keep that repeating and it remove it gives us feel that yes that PT is hung on that wall. So without those tracking data we could know that in an entire empty active wallet where have we go to place that 3D model. So that's where I move my layout needs comes in. And then, yeah, accordingly takes more to texturing, gradient, animation, text, lighting, and environment and paint. This is actually distracted thing. And then get photoscopy, compositing comes remotely, and then the final thing is get rendered out. I put a click on someone, my house, I put the photoscopy one. Okay, now I'll just get it at the end of the presentation in our Q&A part. Okay. Uh, now let's move on to the other part, the 3D animation. What is 3D animation? How now what can work in 3D animation, and what is the difference between 3D animation as a pipeline context? What is the difference between 3D animation and VFX? And by the way, the which is running back between the title behind the title, Northern Seva. I can probably say that this is an Indian animation, and this has been nominated to the Oscars this year, and I'm very much rooting for it. That it could pick up the pace for by of the this is also going to be a big take in the Indian animation industry in India. Anyways, moving right. So a typical 3D animation production pilot is much easier to understand, although it is very much, I would say, identical to the VFX production pipeline. Although some things are different. Like and idea generation, script, concept art, all those things comes into growth big, and then storyboarding happens where every shot that how it's going to look like as we sketched. That from this camera angle, this particular thing is going to look like this, and those things are sketched, and three by three, every frames are being sketched that big, and as a process of storyboarding, just to narrate that how the story is going to evolve from one shot to another shot, from one scene to another scene. And that's how the big things are as well for much people to understand that yes, how this scene is going to evolve in this way. It is very important. Storyboarding, visualization. These are the pretext. So storyboarding is like a 2D way to make now the production people understand that how story is going to get evolved, and pre-visualization is a 3D way to make them understand that how story is to evolve shot by shot, scene by scene. So that's the difference. The commonality is they make it how the animation is going to be, how the it is going to be kind of a wavy, kind of is going to be kind of a robotic, how it's going to be. So animatics comes to that play that goes to production by doing where you can see the CP apartments on layout. There is a layout, modeling, texture, unity, animation. This is go in a what simple order. Uh, the VFX in 3D in some cases we have to this it's actually VFX 3D, but it actually needs that motion graphics are out there going to be uh, how the FX relation is going to be at that particular shot. So those things I get fired and those are the the later departments after the animation. The lighted lyric and then the positive visual price color correction and that and right up TV animation full X and like it's with most of the 3D animation will works in this way. Typically some 3D animation goes but somewhat in a different route. And that depends upon the like this is I'm saying because in the context of AI, most of the departments in are not necessary to get involved into that particular piping. So these days, most of these are then transmitted into AI, getting educated from AI, and most of the things are get done. So they it's a different group. So depends upon the project to project, depends upon the company to company, how the work to work. Coming on to the gaming, I always that I might be going a little faster because I have a time. But look, if this anything that get passes over your head, just keep staying in the Q&A section later, right? For the of the presentation, and I'll go over everything like that. So, with team development production pipeline, this kind of a different pipeline. So gaming pipeline is very different from PFX from animation. A typical gaming goes into a different kind of state because in, in that way, because I would say if you're building a character, like for example, we take Avengers Infinity War, we are creating Thanos. Uh, if that kind of character doesn't it doesn't exist in the real life, so we create that from scratch in a CG way, video graphics in CG way, and that takes millions of polygons to create that character. And if I want to integrate that same thing into the Fortnite game, Halos character comes in. So that many polygon cannot be created. So most, I would say 10 to 20K polygon is necessary for that entire character to build it in the game. So because no, if we in a logical way, if we make that thing into billion points, the game size could get increased in a very fast rate. So that's the reason low polygon. how you can get the things in a low polygon uh, and keep that attack thing without losing its quality. So that's a different kind of thing that you see in pipeline. This is I talking in the context of bonding. The most of a if wants to create any kind of a height generation in that particular model that taken care of with the texture department. So yeah, coming back to the production pipeline, the same thing. That way that idea concepts are being generated. What kind of a game you want to create? What kind of a theme it should be? Or what kind of storytelling it should be? What kind of narration? How the game design? How the mechanics? How those things going to be? That all goes to the planning, the development stages over here as well. Storyboarding question. As I said, it is a very great way to understand storyboarding and visualization. So yeah, AV under AVGC, storyboarding and visualization are the most important aspects uh, department which should be there. Then it moves into the development stage where the initial assets are coming to the play. If I take myself 4 years back, where I was working at GTA Trilogy game, with technical games, we had to, our main challenge was to remaster all those three-tier title games, GTA San Andreas, GTA Vice City, and GTA 3. We had to remaster them in a very different way. So we like actually we got those assets. So this just a make you understand. Just so behind the scene, I would say, we got the data, a U body data from the original games, and then we accordingly understood its volume, understood its textures, understood its characteristic of every pedosphere to the every hero game or the EU part or the villain of that game. So we accordingly understood the characteristics of those particular things, and then we accordingly remastered them. We recreated those every character, every environment in that way, so that our narration, our quality should deliver the uh, leads to it. So it should justify that. So now that was a unique challenge working with technology, which I correctly speaking, I very much enjoyed. Because it was new to me, and for me, personally speaking, new challenges is where I shine. So I very much explored into those things. So yeah, after the once that development stage goes out, the final testing comes into play. Now the the big studio that making that key, they test out that key, and then about the key, they release some beta test to the public and get their feedback that how the game is. Many gaming companies they have a tester as an employee. They have a tech that they have testers who just their job is to test and develop the games at different stages, whether easy, hard, medium, difficult, anywhere. So they test and they accordingly give the feedback that this thing needs to be polished this way, the quality needs to be polished this way. So their feedback is very useful. That's the testing happens. Then countries of pre-launch, the second beta release, take marketing, advertising, and those. That's it. Then comes with the final stage, where the final game is being released and to the public. Now, people, year series and all those things come with the as just like everyone, I'm also waiting for GTA 6. So I believe that GTA 6 is that the fourth stage today. Uh, its testing is going on, and we are all hoping that. And after Live for 90, it won't get delayed anymore by Rockstar Studio. And we can finally see GTA 6 into the market. Okay, now this was yeah, this was it. Uh, actually, just kidding. This was not it. This was just to make you understand that how the AVGC sector works, what kind of departments are there, what kind of the films and all comes there are being produced, are being made. And I want to not just end the session just by telling you that you guys what you already might know. I also want you to guys to let you know some of the other technical things which are very much necessary for you guys to understand if you want to become a better artist. If you want to become just an artist, you have to go ahead with that skill set much longer, right? So I want to make you understand more a different kind of things which you might not have an idea, and that's what the main core of this session is. Do you know? So the actual do you know starts from this part itself, and I want to make you understand photogrammetry. That what is photogrammetry, why it is required, what kind of things are there in to make um, to make a VFX or quality much more polished to be. So, okay, let's go with photogrammetry and let's understand that what is photogrammetry in, in its actual way. So, photogrammetry is, I would say, it is it captures data in a form of high resolution digital photographs into a different series of images from different various angles. Like the one you have seen before in the video, just click behind the title. uh, the particular asset, I would say, whether it is a character, whether it is a single small prop, it be placed in the center of the entire dome. The entire dome is it is being as I would say it is a dome. It is a chamber which is loaded with high quality cameras and covered with high quality cameras, and all those cameras click at one single time and takes the photographs of that particular asset which is placed in between the center of that camera and takes the photographs just to get the data out of that photograph. So just to in a layman term, just create a 3D model out of those photographs. Now, since those photographs are being clicked at the same time, and then they are stitched in a sequence on the from that reading that sequence, some softwares are there like reality capture, mesh, Zapaya, etc. and all that they use that sequence to generate like understanding the light condition. They generate the 3D model in that way. So in this way, a 3D modeling artist doesn't have to rely on his own judgment to understand that this much size of that particular asset should be. And instead of that, he gets the real data now of that particular asset which needs to be created, whether it's on a euro level, whether it's very far behind the digital camera. So in that way, photogrammetry comes to the play. Uh, there are many Android applications as well, whether it is for Android, whether it is for Apple. There are many applications that supports photogrammetry. So I believe this is just a kind of an experiment thing, which you guys at an earlier stage in your career, you guys can try this and you can get the the gist of what I tried to tell you uh, how the photogrammetry works. So you can experiment, take any kind of an asset and just make sure that the lighting condition of that particular environment should be well lit, so that if you want color data out of that 3D model itself, you can get that as well in a very sharp and in very polished way. So you can try this photogrammetry and yeah, so photogrammetry mainly uh, is best for scanning human body parts or human itself, some weapons, some props, automobiles, etc. So that's where this comes into play. So this is how you know complete photogrammetry comes into play. They captures the data from that from that cameras, and inside the software, we get the data in this way in any kind of expression. If you want to create, we can get the expressions in that way itself. And then, according to those things, a 3D model gets generated, and in that, a final asset gets prepared from photogrammetry to the final digital model. So this is how the photogrammetry actually works. This is how a digital, which you all might have heard this or sometime in your life, the digital double. We say that if we if I there was also uh, uh, like okay, like right now it's not coming into my height. Yeah, legend. So there you can see the digital. Uh, I don't recall if the name of that actor, but anyways, there's a digital created of that in that clone digital created of that particular actor, and this is how the entire process was actually created. So, yeah, create a whether it is for giving, whether it's for VFX, whether it's for animation, I can rule out that. But mainly for gaming and mainly for VFX, photogrammetry goes in this way. If you want to create a digital level of that particular actor or that particular character, like a God of War, many kind of photogrammetry data was used in that game itself. Then let's come on to LiDAR. Now, what is LiDAR? So let's understand that what it is and why it is necessary for you guys to do that. What is LiDAR? So LiDAR is actually the two heading is light detection and ranging. Uh, it works in the same way that how photogrammetry was, but in a different way. Photogrammetry generates the 3D model out of the photographs. However, the light detection and LiDAR that generates the 3D model from data points. Of course, what the drone have a captured or that particular area or that particular environment. The best use case of LiDAR is for scanning environments like jungles, forests, vegetation, grasslands, city areas, etc. So if you want to create, if you want high resolution data also of that entire environment, like if I want to nuke Manhattan City or nuke Mumbai, I won't, I won't, I can't afford to do that. So in that way, we entirely scan that area. We create that entire thing in in a 3D environment. Then we accordingly we create things out uh, from that the data points and create the 3D model in that way. So that's the reason LiDAR is the best process which you can this is the best way to scan out the environment. And photogrammetry, it's the best use case just to make create the 3D models of claws, weapons, and characteristics itself. These are the softwares which you can see. These are the softwares and is 3D Jedi, Edisoft, Metashield, etc. There are multiple. Yeah, over there, uh, out there in our software, which generates 3D model out of the LiDAR data. Okay, so this is how the LiDAR data actually captures the data. Now, and also now since you all guys I do wondering that what might be the difference because we are getting the at the end of the day we are getting the result now in a form of 3D model. So what does it refer? What is the difference make that whether we require to photogrammetry or whether we require LiDAR data? So the difference is that when you take out the data on the photogrammetry, you might get the leakage in some or the other way. Your data of that particular asset kind of the result of that data might be blurry. there might be a breakage in some or the other way, because it totally depends upon the how high quality of camera we're using to capture the asset of which you want to make a 3D model out of. So you might get some result that way, but when you get the data out of the LiDAR, now since it is using the scan points, it goes in depth. The points goes in depth and captures every single height, every single depth of that particular asset, and gives us the very fine, although grainy, but gives us the final result in a very stylish, fine polished manner, I could say in that way. So that's the reason LiDAR is required in those situations, and photogrammetry is required in those situations. It depends upon the budget as well. It depends upon the requirement as well, because photogrammetry is cheaper than LiDAR, and LiDAR is very much expensive since you are taking out the data from a dome, and dome cost is very much high. That's the reason LiDAR is very much expensive method compared to photogrammetry method. So yeah, this one is better. So this are the differences between that what should do that for moving ahead to take out the you know data out of photography for the LiDAR, which one should be the best. So you can see in this way. So you some of the guys might be pursuing for 3D animation or the 3D visual effects courses with some of the other institute. If you might keep up with this dot normal map and vector spatial map, you might get an idea that what I'm talking about. For those who might not get an idea, I would take that out just to clear out the confusion. But yeah, in later you can experiment that what is model map and what is vector displacement map. So it technical vector displacement map generates the height in a very crisp and very clear manner, and normal map is a very not very but a bit low grade, gives a low grade quality. Now, so that's the data that I want to make in that way. I need to understand. So this is the difference between what is photogrammetry and what is LiDAR. Uh, Now let's move ahead and what's 3D printing? This is also one of the I would say it is a part of EVGC. But if you want to explore uh, much in a different way to understand what is 3D printing or how things go. So 3D printing is actually making 3D is printing a 3D model, but also although with digital 3D model to work on a digital screen. Just to pause over here, uh, I would like to show you all. Yes, I actually have this, and I made this. So this is Blackadder. This is the scale of 1 by 12, and this cost me around 30K INR. I didn't know how much that the US dollar is, but this I got printed. I made this in my free time, and then later I wanted to explore the things out that if I made the more this way here, matter, then what if I print it? Let's get my technical knowledge in that way as well. So if this guy over here, I to get this out. Mm. Got a key, got to understand that if you want to print a 3D model, you need an STL file. It is a format of that file from which a 3D printers understands the data of your digital model and accordingly print it depending upon what kind of material you want in a plastic form. whether it is FDM or resins. So FDM are more sturdier and it's plastic form, but they quite lack in some of the details. So this one over here is a mixture of both FDM and resin. So if I would like to tell you, so the below part, this the structure over here, which is floating over, this is FDN, and this entire 3D character of Black Adam, this is made out of FDN. Sorry, resin. Uh, so because I don't want any kind of quality to be lack back here. So that's the reason it is a mixture of both. And then it was accordingly hand painted, given by the references what I provided. I'll later show you guys in my work profile as well. So, so this is about that. Usually, or if you want to have a 3D printer, it costs about 10 to 20 GI, which is around 130 USD to 225 USD, depending upon the how higher end model you want. You can go in that way. Many of artists have started their journey as an artist, and yet their artist journey transitioning to an entrepreneurial journey as now by by opening a 3D printing studio. Yeah, so where their main code is just to print out 3D models for electronics, for home decor, for action figures, for weaponry, just to test out that how the weapons are working. So in that earlier phase, it works for the weapons industry, for the home decor, for the automatics industry as a concept art. That if I want to make that particular thing, do it work in a perfect, that the fashionable way or not. So in that, their concept required, they require a pre-printed model. So there, so this is the one of the industry which I want to make you aware of, that this is one of the industry also which is evolving day by day, and you can also be a part of this industry if you have passion to for it. Now, this was the breakdown of that black pen. So this was a create that huge shout out to CD Printing Garage. It's in Mumbai itself. One of my colleagues, I got to know about this, and I spoke with them. I asked that hey, it's my first exposure to 3D printing. So please let me know what kind of skills and what kind of file formats you require from me just to print out at this scale. So they accordingly taught me as well that and they made me aware of softwares from which this particular thing got immediately printed out. They animated it, and they accordingly gave the update every single day that how far a 3D model has been printed out. And at the end of the day, a 3D model got printed in that. These are some of the images which you can see. This is the 3D model for that character. Okay, so that was the eight of that of this particular session. Now of this area. Now, moving ahead with your ways, moving ahead with your questions. I also want to tell you guys about some of the things that you should guys be aware of. Spending 7.5 years in this industry and moving ahead by and really proud of myself that I am contributing as not just a part of the community, but also working on different type of projects and every day evolving my knowledge, every day evolving my skills, so that I can help the others as well and me as well to to raise the bar into a skill set way. Uh, there are n number of careers, guys, which you can which are ahead of you. Uh, but most I didn't want to tell you guys that you should move it this way, you should move it that way. Otherwise that would be a horse with a focused strap. I don't want you guys to be in that way. I wanted to tell you guys that irrespective to whatever career is, be passionate about it. Uh, Learn since you guys are at an initial stage in your career, so learn as many as things as different as many of things that you can. You never know that what kind of career, the what kind of that knowledge would help you when you are going to specialize in one single career. Like when I started studying about this industry in 2014. I started studying and for this career. So in my opinion, I would tell that I always wanted to be more artist because I always have had a craze to build something. But and but at that time, my mentors, my teachers had told me, which I also want to pass it to you guys, that don't just get focused into one single area. Since you are initial fantasy, you are a sponge. Absorb as much as possible from a different kind of things, whether it is useful to you or not, you never know. So at what particular time, uh, when your studies are getting over, where you are at that phase that now you're no more a student, now you're no more a repeater, you're no more an actual, you are a professional now. So that's the point that very hard to understand that this is the part that I excel in. That this is the one single thing. So at that point, you have to put on the strap and then focus in that way. And that's what I had also did. And the from for 2014 to 2016, I have learned a number of things. Whether it is motion graphics, whether it is animation, rigging, texturing, lighting, Unreal, anything. I observed everything. Uh, but when it comes to profession, that's when I realized that I am good as a modeling artist. Now I can contribute my skills and be a reliable asset for the particular studio or for a particular client in a freelance way. Now, if I become, if I evolve my knowledge, modeling artist. So that's where I started my career as a modeling artist and specialize in that. Although I'm not saying that till date I'm just focusing on model, I still evolving day by day as a texturing artist. I'm still evolving day by day as a lighting, Unreal artist, rendering artist, animation artist, and still today till this day I'm evolving. So, if in case if ever I want to switch my mind and focus my mind to not more go ahead with the modeling and just use it back to like animation, I can do that as well because I need those storage as well. So this is the one thing that I want to tell you guys. Now, other than that, I think as a career wise, you can go ahead as a 3D journalist as well, because in that way, 3D journalist means you can you have the knowledge of doing everything. So that's where you excel to pick up. That's where you get an opportunity to become a VFX supervisor, to become a CG supervisor as well, because those are the guys who have the knowledge of everything. And we go someday you can visit you can speak, we'll shoot to uh, share your opinion or to shoot that particular VFX part in that particular way. Okay. I believe you have excited like you take your queries and all in your Q&A. So let's I'll move ahead to that particular thing, and I'll shift back to Discord. And if anyone has any query now, let's hear them out.
Yes, so I was going to open the floor up to, I know, Ginger, you had a question.
Okay.
Oh, that was just for the general public. But I think let's take Ken's one first.
Okay. Kenny, can you request to get on stage? Okay. Ginger, I think it's freezing on my end. Can you bring him in?
Yes, 1 second. So I think Kenny is requesting to speak. Let's see. Put Kenny up, please. Yeah, I think Kenny, are you? Yes.
Just thank you for sharing your local experience and knowledge with us. That's a lot to take in. I think it's really valuable to have people like you, the experience coming back and sharing the knowledge. So thanks for that. Thank you. So my question on this is something I struggled with starting out. Oh, just a little bit about myself. Basically, 3D character artist. I work in animation production and VFX games, and I have roughly 6 years experience. So kind of a similar practice, but not quite like VFX or like something basic. I'd like to get my hands to kind of explore your skills. To that point, just what advice would you give to someone who has fallen in love with a great role where they'd like to be working on certain skill, but they're all hard for how would you do something else? And how do you like this?
Yeah. Most of the time, I felt that I should do something else. I should switch my way of thinking, my way of perspective in a different way. My main advice is that just study, what your current situation is, what the current situation of the industry is, and then accordingly act over it. Because uh, it is kind of an investment, I would say. You never know that if you want to switch back to AI, if you want to switch back to animation, you never know which things can get hyped up in the upcoming market. So you have to understand that since you excel in what particular thing, you should know the expansion of that particular market in the future. That if this thing or you evolve, am I also going to survive in that? Because the survival is the first instinct that comes into human beings. And if you can survive in that particular way, you can then act over it. That yes, I can now, skillfully polish my skills in that particular way. So I can absorb the knowledge of AI. I can absorb the knowledge of animation, and I can survive in that way. And I survive period. It's just for a few months because since you already are invested in this industry, you would grab the opportunities and you can grab the knowledge in a very quicker now. So now that's the main thing which won't take much whole lot that number, and you can easily switch to other thing. Although I would say that if you are willing to switch back to back to your original role, I would just say that just that be consistent with it, and because and it just always be aware of the industry, what things are going right now, so that you can help your advancement and can help the competition as well in a very productive way. I hope the answer was just regarding your question. Or is there anything else?
Got it. That's a really helpful answer. And then just as a follow up to that, tips for pushing the time to do all that.
Sorry, what?
Tips for pushing the time to do all that, like balancing like a demanding job with that personal exploration. I think the passion is one thing, yes, and I did this bit, but then there's also the reality of burnout, which some people can face. So, how do you personally like avoid burnout and still, find the drive to explore the skills that you really want to?
So it's all end up with that taking of time. Get uh, uh, get out of your comfort zone. Spend your weekends instead of playing video games or doing something else. Explore about those things. If you're not very much interested now, right now in your career, take out at least 2 to 3 hours a day to understand that how where you want to go. Well, it's very interesting. Uh, that you study about those things. And because since at this stage, I think at this stage, it will be a one-off because you are stepping one type on your two books right now. And balancing one or the other, right, can be risky. So that's the reason I'm saying be consistent what you are doing right now. And but when you get a free time like Saturdays or Sundays, be a part of that particular thing where you want to be, and that's how you can evolve yourself. I know it would be a slow progress, but at least slow progress is much better than a no progress. So that's the reason. That's one thing that how I evolved myself in with other departments, and that's how I spend my weekends.
All right. Uh, well, thanks so much. I'll put a lot of diet practice trust. And thanks so much again.
Yeah.
Here. Keeper, great talk. Appreciate it. Oh, it's like the engage. My question, uh, well, I'll say a little bit about me. I'm also a 3D artist, and I do a lot of characters, but more so, let's say like Cape style, getting into the gaming industry. Uh, but as far as you for professional wise, I saw that like you like your first gig, like a big movie. So I was just curious, like when you started, like what type of things were you making as a junior artist, and like what are you making now? What's the movies you working
And yeah, now I was just about to show you well in my art station. Right? So this is where yeah. So this is where with that question as well. That's art station. I would like to tell you guys if you want to showcase your work and reach as much as I was. So try to evolve your try to market yourself, try to sell your not sell not in that big, but try to sell your artwork so that it can reach the audience, so that they can see you as well. That's how I marketed myself. I make artworks. I put on social medias like Instagram, LinkedIn, and all, and the main the tour channel of Art Station. Art Station is the best channel for you guys, so you should explore it. So Fast and Furious 9 is the part where I also in this part as a junior modeling artist. This was my first shot. This I still remember. I think it was dated second March or something. I still remember the day where I first first introduced to a shot to work on, and it was a big responsibility. I was very nervous, but the only and why I was nervous because I want to make these all candy bar wrappers which are floating in the shot. Uh, and I had to create this small mobile home. Since I was junior recording artist, nothing big was given responsibility for. So small props. I was accountable to make them like EJs, these mobile phones. So these are the shots which were I was responsible for to make them. I was very nervous. Yeah, and then later on, I got both bigger parts to work on. Like over here for the Infinite movie. Well, if you want, I can show you guys just to summarize my story. It has on two sticks where I had worked films and all. So it was a great experience to work on. I was nervous a bit, but yeah, in some or the other way, I was very much happy that wherever I need to land my knowledge, it's good to be of worth, right? So now, where this was the short, and this was an infinite short which I worked on. So this was a short. So this entire area was shot to LiDAR data. For that LiDAR data, as an as an environment artist, I got this entire LiDAR data, and by because and a huge blast is about to happen, and these were the tricky doubles integrated with the on shoot stunt actors. So I was responsible to take this entire road section, including the divide, which was about to get blast. So, which short it is, yeah, this one. So this was the entire road section. So this was the thing which I was responsible to make, and this was the part of it. So we this Shui or art session, and I listed all my goals, my personal art goals all the way, so you can get an idea like what kind of projects I had worked on, what kind of how shorts I had worked on.
Bringing you next. The next. Person. Where is the button? Sorry.
For me,
God. I sounds here before you leave, so that would be achieved. So, hello, like, yes, I am familiar with him, but is still a forest. And not a lot of um, I see the horrible fever so far.
my favorite character now was up until Black Adam, until I played God of War. Uh, uh, I don't own a PlayStation, but my friend owns one, so I started to play God of War Ragnarok, and that's where I got an inspiration to import my artwork in a much greater way. So, uh, I got a concept art from from I think a Russian artist who was there. Uh, C. Walker Coxford, and through his purpose, I asked him for the puppet to make this character, and he granted the puppet. And then it's very important. Although on the other way, people don't appreciate the puppet. They just say the concept art and they start building it without asking for the permit. So, as a responsible artist, as a good artist, if you find any kind of artwork over art station which you want to create in a 3D space, be a good person, be a good human being, and only in a kind way, just ask for the permit. No, no, because it is a artwork of someone else, and without his permit or without her permit, you're going to break. So it's better to let the other person know. Uh, so that's the one thing. So since I took permit, I started this to read this character in the space. I done many kind of either case studies over the characteristic. My main goal not just in create this thing into this. This that was not my goal. My main goal was to understand the characteristic of the trait of character. Since I want to make him old, I want to make him crafty, I want to make him a warrior like look and feel. So that's the thing that I wanted to emphasize more to the modeling. So that's where I very I made the model that way. So this is one of my greatest artwork, which I'm very proud of. Recently, one of very recently I had submitted this artwork in Chennai, well, the the art festival, and I won a gold medal in this. As a very this artwork, yeah, yeah, that I should not make a few years ago.
Is there a other son? It's like and maybe like independent or with a studio.
Yeah, I have a very much praise to be a part of a gaming project. Some of the other big gaming projects which I'm actually part of, which might be releasing in the next few months. But the main idea, but apart from yeah, what I ideally doing it in my professional way, I like to be part of a gaming project, and the most I want to be part of a short film project. I always want to work on a short film. I never got an opportunity to work on a short film. I want to take. I have a few list of scripts in my local disk in this laptop itself, which are just yeah, saved in this laptop, and just waiting for the time that when I get time and I could make a short film of my own. Uh, not just to win any awards or anything, and not kind of that. I want to explore that what kind of challenges I can go, because this is going to be an independent project for me. So that's these are the things which I want to take off from my bucket list. Thank you, Neil. And the solar point for the future. Very good. It's
We have one more person. It's loading her in. All right, damn. One sec. So slight delay. Ginger, are you able to push something?
Let me check. Yes, I should be able to. Give me a sec. Use section. Okay. Yosef, did you get an invite in your thing to come up the stage?
Yeah, I see them in there. But I pressed to accept it, but it's like kind of
No, once you press to accept it, you've sent needs to accept this spot too. So I just try again. I'll just send you another request. Also, can people get connected with you on LinkedIn?
Yep. So you guys can reach me out on LinkedIn or position on Instagram. He's at the he have a social artist where you guys can reach me out if you hire any kind of prerequisites related to career wise, whether it's the professional or the studio back, or whether it's related to kind of a going out from studio to profession, any kind of. I welcome every questions. So
So Yosef, on the top right corner, there's the request to speak. I think we set you a request to speak. See if you see the little hand pick.
on the show.
Oh, not you. Thanks to Yosef, because Yosef requested to speak, so we sent over the invitation. Perfect.
Yeah. Yes.
My name's Chris. It's just how most people in the non-English speaking world pronounce my name, which is the J. It's rare. Yeah. Yes. So I'm a 2D character artist. I greatly struggle with backgrounds, and that's a bit of my background. And there's some relevance to my question that I guess they are just few questions. One question that uses parts. So perhaps you could perhaps answer that. The first one is wire car's license. Like it's the area of the car's license to get a drum play of the re once I take a big lighter image. And two, how is AI affecting background noise in your experience?
Okay, so now let's go with first one. So LiDAR, yeah, yes, it do require license. These other softwares decide totally guys are here. The LiDAR data supports. These does require license. Speak the tone as well. In that for AI, you get a public wherever you want to shoot that entire LiDAR data. So my you should have a com of that particular on that UD. Mm. As far as I know, it is affecting digital marketing department. So that we click on the tones and we give the entire painting done in seconds. So, but it is not affecting fully to the modeling department because the accuracy of how the things should be created that it's a very clear way in the hands of us the things. So I don't think I don't put it and I don't think in the next 50 to 60 years that it will be accurate. It will be, but won't be 100% accurate. So, the modeling department, the although I would say it is not affecting 100% to this. Maybe digital max painting department as well. It's not 100% affecting. It is just giving a base idea that how you got to get the things out of, and over that you uh, change out different things like you don't want the tree over here, you don't want the fountain over here, you don't want the lighting creation over here. So the future, so the era of hard working to smart working is being shifted in this way. So in that way, we get the base idea from AI and then we finalize it our own way, like how our relation to actually boy. Yeah, accuracy is there, but not 100%, and both we ever there at 100% accuracy until unless we do our jobs in the right way. I hope my answer just for your question. Joseph?
I think Yusuf Marin, could you speak to Joseph a little bit about how LiDAR works for large area scale versus like the small group area scale, and as he is a 2D artist, maybe he might want to start with what's the data.
For LIGO, what you should have a high quality drone, should have a high quality reach of pilot driving. Through that LiDAR, to that drone, should, uh, it whatever the software you are using, uh, it should I don't really know about the mechanism of how it goes the scans of the data, but any kind of scan mechanism is being attached to that drone, and that is controlled or computerized through that particular software, and it is just scans out that particular area, like how you had seen, sure. The, the so we just scans that particular area, and in that way, the heading like over here, right, as you can see, it's scanning that in that forest stage here. So it just particularly scans the piece and from the height and what particular height the trees are. how the trees, each particular tree trunk is, reaching down to the ground. So it catches every single data at that particular point combined. And in that way, you get the data in a very crisp and clear manner. So that's how LiDAR works. If you want a particular every depth of the particular environment, like for example a church, like for example a building. If you want to get every single detail, and if you want the data to be captured inside of both multi-story building, and inside that you want that person is standing the particular cabin, and you want to capture that data as well. LiDAR data helps you in that way, so it reaches in that depth. So in that way, you can use a LiDAR data. I never used a LiDAR data on my own. They were pilot driven your all before. Otherwise, I could have answered your query much straight. But uh, clearly, this is the basic idea of understanding that how the LiDAR works. Many companies also just has a kind of business of their own, just of supplying the drones to the VFX production pipeline, just to scan out the data out of the environment. So you just work, just to supply the drones and just to take a scan data. So in that way, also a person can pursue their career.
Awesome. Is there any, Yosef, do you have any other questions? Also, Yosef, Ginger mentioned in the chat the iPad Pro has LiDAR for root areas. So that's something you might be able to try.
Sure. Are you able to hear me? Yes. It's like 100%.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yes. Yeah, thank you for the breakdown of wire, and I think you answered my question, which is kind of broadly what is the state of agriculture industry, and like you mentioned how with AI it's more we need to focus on the actual craft, creating a decent background, or is it not going to start up being just all the time? It has to actually require some effort.